Hey, what's going on? We'll get straight to it. So I have been fortunate enough to observe the behavior of some very successful women in the trades. And I noticed that they have a couple things in common. I want to talk about the one thing that I think is most important that they all have in common. And that thing is that they learned to focus. Seems simple, but they learned to focus. And this is a very powerful skill set. I'll get into it. By the way, my name is Chris Gray. I co-own a marketing consulting agency for home service contractors. We helped a lot of home service contractors do well. And my whole purpose here is to help you, the woman in the trades, the woman over the business and marketing in the trades. I've been doing it for a while, and I started noticing a few things and things that were unfair to you in general, which pissed me off, which I won't go into. And then I also noticed something big is I'm trying to help these companies grow, and the guy could, like, in a lot of cases, care less. He just cares about the trade, and he focuses on the techs. And then he has the wife or the girlfriend, whoever, in the office to run the business or run the marketing. Well, guess what? If this trade's business is going to grow, it's not going to be through the trade. The trade is a tool, but it's not going to grow through the trade. In order for it to grow, in order for people to get to your service, what do you have to do? You have to be focused on the business and marketing. So this company's going to grow. It's going to be successful. It's going to be on you. And I make these videos to help you with that. So let me get to my point here of focusing. And I'm a nerd. I read a lot of different stuff. And we were talking about business here, right? You know, you're trying to grow a trades business. Talking about business, I look at Instagram and Kodak. And I hope that you remember Kodak. For around my age, you definitely remember Kodak. So Instagram comes out. And when Instagram came out, it was called Bourbon or something. It was like this photo sharing app that had all these different features. I mean, tons of different features and all this stuff. And it was just doing all these things, but it didn't do any of them well. So then the owners, they have a meeting. And they're like, you know what, man, what can we do to make this thing the best? Like, what can we focus on to then make this thing a much better app? So what they did was they got rid of like most all the features, and they just focused on the photo aspect, the photo sharing aspect. And they went down the rabbit hole with that. And then guess what? Well, they get bought for billions by Facebook after they found out. They stripped everything away and focused on what they felt would be the most important thing for their app, made a bunch of money. Contrast that with Kodak, right? Kodak used to, you know, when we had to snap pictures, you had to put some Kodak film in there to get those pictures, right? And they were just your traditional photography company with hard goods for photography, whether it's actual cameras, film, whatever it was. So as cell phones come along, smartphones come along, the Kodak product becomes significantly less relevant in value, because why does somebody need to buy a camera or buy, you know, film and all that stuff when you can just take your phone and take pictures those pictures were just as good as the Kodak pictures. And so Kodak was like, oh man. But instead of getting with the times or figuring out a way to go with the market, what did Kodak do? They said, you know what, we're going to hold on to what we do. We're going to try 4, 5, 6 different digital things. So let's not get rid of what we do. Let's do that and do a bunch of other things. Well, what do you think happened? Kodak is no longer around. Why? Because they didn't find a direction, or they didn't commit to a direction. Even if they failed, they would have had a better chance of being successful had they found the right direction for that company and then committed to it and focused on it. So back to my point at hand, when I'm sitting here and I am talking to some of the most powerful women in the trades business, and I'm talking to them, and I found out that they all learned to focus. And the key word is learn. It didn't just like happen. They didn't just have the skill set. They had to learn to focus. And their focus was on the thing that truly mattered, the 1 to 2 things that truly brought in money for their company. And I want to share with you one of the tips that I learned from the most powerful woman in the trades. It's a good tip. It's a really good tip. So talking about, you know, learning how to focus and figuring that out, you're like, hey, how do I learn how to focus? Well, you can do it. There's a lot of different ways, but here's one strategy that will help you. So when she sits down, looks at everything that has to be done for that day or that week, all this stuff, you know how it is. You own a business, there's a billion things to do, and you only have like 1 minute to do that. So she's looking at all this stuff she has to do. then she asks herself this question, and it's been a question I've been asking myself ever since. When she looks at this stuff, she says, okay, what's the one thing I can do such by doing it makes everything else easier or unnecessary? So it's like, what's the one thing I can do that may eliminate some of these other things or make these other things easier? And then she does that. And then once that's done, she asks herself the same question of the remaining tasks. And so what is she doing here? She is learning how to focus, and not only focus, but focus on the high leverage thing, the thing that's going to make the biggest impact in the shortest amount of time. That's one tactic on, learning how to focus. Here's another question that I learned, and it's been super helpful for my business, and I pass it on to others. Hey, when you look at your business and all the things you do, you wear a lot of different hats, right? You have business, you have marketing, you have all these different branches underneath those two topics. So you're wearing these different hats. The question, though, is what is the one thing that you do that helps your company make the most money? There's one, maybe two. One, maybe two. But typically there's one thing that when you're focused on this thing, the business is making money, right? So whether it's recruiting, whether it's training, whether it's managing processes, whatever it is, you have this one thing that, hey, when I put time into this, the company makes money, right? Think about that thing, whatever that might do or may be. And then when you have it down, you know what it is. And the question is, how many times a day or how many hours a day do you spend on that thing? And for me, that was a hard thing to realize, because the thing that helped my companies make the most money was one of the things that was getting the least amount of attention day over day. So I had to intentionally block out time to make sure I was focused on this thing that helps grow the business, as opposed to there's like a billion other things you can do that will make you feel busy. It's like a day where you've done a lot of stuff, but nothing got done. I've had a lot of days like that. I'm doing a bunch of crap, responding to people's stuff, putting out fires, doing this, that, and the other, and nothing that really moves the needle got done, but a bunch of other crap got done. So be intentional about whatever that is, whatever that skill is, whatever that task is that makes you the most money. Set time aside to do that daily. And the last tip I have to help with, when you identify the one thing that will make everything else easier, and then you identify the thing that makes you the most money, when you identify all those and you're focused, the best thing you can do is put your phone away. Like, put the phone to the side, man. It's hard. Like, even right now, I'm making this video with you, and I had to silence my phone because I'm getting people sending me messages and all this. Everybody's like when people send me emails or give me texts, a lot of it's on their to-do list. So I'm executing their to-do list, if that makes any sense. When I'm doing my work, the important work, put the phone to the side. Put it to the side, and I'm done. When you're blocking out time to work on your most important thing, the thing that makes you the most money, block that time out as if it's a meeting. Everybody in your office should treat you as if you were in a meeting. You are not available right now because you're doing the most important thing, that's putting food on their plate, right? They're your employees. They need to eat. They look to you to help give them money so that they can live and pay bills. In order for you to do that, you got to take care of you. Take care of you means blocking out time to then focus on what you do best to grow the business. So those things right there, putting the phone away and blocking out time and being very protective of that time, have been very helpful to me. But most important, I've seen it be helpful to women in the trades. Those who are good at it are really good at it, and they make a lot of money, and the businesses are huge. So anyways, I hope those tips. Wait. Before you go, please like or subscribe to this channel. And here's why. That helps other people like you see this video. So if this video helped you at all and you want it to help other people just like you, then like and subscribe, because that's the only way that it's going to help them. That's going to be the way for them to see this. I appreciate you watching. Thanks.